Very important tool in terms of working with creating a complex geometry or creating some detail in your design or building or geometry, and that's the offset tool. The offset tool is actually very simple. It's find the surface, find the boundary of the surface, and offset those boundaries. So for example, if I go here and use the offset tool, or I can type I can type, if I'm not mistaken, F, yes, F as a short key, or click on the offset. I can just go over different surfaces, and you see that as I move over different surfaces, it just highlight those surfaces. When I click on the surface, the next thing that's gonna happen is that it just create an offset of the outline within that surface. So I can just click in, or I can, like, same thing, I can just type it in. Like for example, this time I want to have like a 5-inch of offset within that surface. Now you can see that I create like some sort of a detail line here. What I can do here is that I can just press a space, go back to the selection tool, and then go to using the line tool. And here what I'm going to do is that I'm going to add two small pieces down here. So instead of having the surface, which is like here in the middle, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go to the selection tool or erase tool, and then delete this middle line. Now my detail line started from here. Could be taking me forever if I wanted to draw this line, and probably I made a lot of mistakes. Now that I have this line here, this surface out here, what I can do is that I can go back to the push and pull tool, click on the push and pull tool, and bring this up. So I'm bringing this up, like for example, 2 feet. That's going to be bringing up the surface of this side 2 feet above. Alright, so that's for detailing, like for example, like if I have a parapet, or if I have like a wall system, or I want to create something that will be helpful to use. So now let's look at another application of this. So imagine that I want to create like some sort of a Windows series down here. What I can do is that I can start trying to add places that I think that I'm going to have my window placement. So let's say we're going to have one window here, and I'm going to go have another. So let me just go and do this. First I started with the midpoint. So this is the midpoint. I know that I want to have a window here and another window right here. So right now I know that these are going to be my placement for a window. Now what I can do is that I'm going to go for the offset tool and select this surface, the first one, and start moving that surface like inside. So I know that my window will be somewhere around 3 feet. Alright, now that I create the first one, what I can do is that I can double click on this surface, and when I double click on this surface, it automatically uses the previous setting here. I can do the same thing here. Double click, same thing, double click. So I don't need to input the distance when they are kind of a series of these things. I go back to the erase tool, where I can type E, same thing, click or type E as a short key, and start erasing extra line. The other way that I can delete that, if I Control Z this, is that I can just go with the selection tool and just select them and then press delete. And I highly recommend you to just use the erase tool, because if by any chance we want to build this model in a 3D print, if you use the regular delete, that will be the problem when you want to create the 3D model that's going to be sent over to 3D print. So your best bet is basically using this erase tool here. So I'm going to go here, erase tool, and I'm going to delete all those things here. I'm going to delete them, pressing space. Now I know that my window is not going to be just this like separate things. I want to kind of connect them, so it creates some sort of a continuity in my facade design. So I'm going to go here and add more line here. So I'm going to add here, and one more line here, one line here, one line here, another line here, and that's one right there. So now it's kind of like a continuous line alongside of this surface. Now I have this. What I want to do is that I want to create some sort of a frame around this window. So it's not going to be just a like a solid glass. It has some sort of a frame around it. So I'm going to go to the offset again. Here, this surface, and this time I'm going to put the 5" for my frame. So that's my first frame. This one doesn't have a frame, so I'm going to keep it as it is. And then I'm going to go double. Oh, sorry. So let's try it again. I'm going to go here, 5. For this one, just double click. Again, double click here and double click here. Now I have my window here. Now what I want to do is that I want to create the window surface or glass surface here. So what I want to do is that I'm going to use the push and pull tool and then go over this surface, and using the push and pull tool, I know that it's going to be this window going to be sitting 10 inch. That's going to be my first window right there. For the second one, same as what I did with the offset tool. If I just double click, that's going to bring my window inside. So I don't need to type the number again. Double click, and it's going to be the same amount that goes in within the surface. Now I have my window. I'm basically keeping those window here, because what I'm going to do later on is that I'm going to use this material, these surfaces, to add a different material. But your option will be that if I press a space, go back to the selection tool, I can just select these space and then just basically delete them. That's create sort of a space here. So you have two different options: keeping them, or basically adding adding a different material to that surface that we just create. And you can imagine a lot of possibilities in terms of adding a detail. If you want to add some sort of a rating here or any other things that you want to add here, that's the possibility that you can get out of the offset and push and pull tool.